Hello friends, this is Kelly coming at you with an Adobe Spark Post mini tutorial. Adobe Spark Post is an app created by the makers of Photoshop and Illustrator, and it's used to create eye-catching graphics with pre-made templates, remixing those pre-made templates, or designing your own original pieces. Now, I can't stress this enough, Spark Post was not specifically developed for scrapbooking, but yet you can print the pieces that you create within Post. Spark Post is geared towards small business owners who may not have a graphic design or marketing department, and they need to create gorgeous visual content quickly. But you know how it goes. We mobile memory keepers will figure out a way to take these cool graphic design apps and use it to fit our needs. I know you guys can agree with me there. Now, even though Adobe Spark Post is a free app, you will need to set up an Adobe account with your email address. It's no big deal, there's no charge to do that. However, the app does offer in-app purchases, but this in-app purchase is mainly to remove their branding from the posts you create or personalize the post with your own business logo, color, or fonts. But if you are already paying for an Adobe Creative Cloud account, the premium features are already available to you. But I don't want the Adobe Spark branding being added to your graphics to deter you from using this app. It is a very powerful app. It can do some pretty cool things. We can always remove that branding with another app, and I'll show you how to do that at the end of this video. So like I said, it is one of my favorite apps to add creative text to photos. But I am not going to do a full tutorial of this app here. This app has evolved quite a bit since I covered it in Art of the Apps 2.0, and it can really be a class on its own now, hint, hint. But what I want to demonstrate in this video is how I created these pages of text from my 2017 December daily album. It's so easy. I know you guys are going to want to try it on your own. It's a lot of fun to do, so let's get started. Just so you know, Adobe Spark Post is available for iOS on the iPhone and the iPad, and an Android version is coming soon. I am recording using my iPad just because the screen is larger, but I want you guys to know that I do use Post on my iPhone all the time. I just want this tutorial to be done on my iPad, just so it's easier for you guys to see where I'm pointing and clicking at. Now, once your account is set up and you have opened Post, you'll see the template screen. And even though we're not covering templates in this tutorial, just know that you can remix any of these templates here to make it your own, meaning you can change out the fonts, the text, the colors, the photos, and you can even change the size. But what we want to do is start from scratch. To do so, tap the little green circle with the plus sign at the bottom of your screen, and from the menu, choose Solid Color. A scrolling color bar will appear at the bottom of your screen. So what you want to do is scroll to choose a color that you like. For now, I'm just going to select this light blue. And when you tap on a color, you will notice that an icon with sliders appears. And if you tap on that icon, you have the ability to adjust the color even further, or you can put in a hex number, color code. And this is perfect for those who have small businesses and may not be paying for Adobe Creative Cloud or the premium service for the app. You can just plug in your company hex color right here. But for right now, what I want to do, I'm just going to stick with my basic white, and we are going to get a little bit more detailed about the color options in Adobe Spark a little later on in the video. Once you select your color, tap the word Next that is at the center of the bottom of your screen. The next screen that appears allows you to choose the size of the design you wish to create. On the far left is a custom size, and you are able to type in your own dimensions. So if you click on that, you can enter your custom size here. The next section you have is for social posts. You have another one here for social profiles, and then you have one here for standard. And this is the section that we want to concentrate on because it is from this section, whatever size you choose here, it's printable. Okay, now the page that I showed from my December daily album was a 6x8 page. If I was to make that size again, I would be selecting the 3 to 4 vertical option. But for this tutorial, I want to do something for my Project Life album. I want to make a 4x6 filler card, so I am going to choose the 2 to 3 vertical option. When I select that, I will choose Done from the bottom of my screen. The next screen that will pop up is your text edit screen. You can see by default the app selects a color palette and font for you and also places a shape around the text. No worries, we're going to change that, but what I like to do first is add the text I want to use. Now, I live in Florida and my albums seem to have a lot of photos of beaches, islands, and just living life on the Gulf Coast. So the text I'm going to use here are lyrics from the Zac Brown Band song, Down in the Islands. I copied and pasted the lyrics into my Notes app, so I'm going to navigate there to grab that text. Let me get out of Spark Post here for a moment. I'm going to come over to my Notes app, and I'll select that text and do a copy. Come back into Spark Post, and now I want to double tap that text and let's paste in here the text that I just copied. When I'm finished, I'm going to tap Done, that's in your upper right hand corner. Okay, and now here the fun begins. Oh, but just a little disclaimer. As of right now, there is no undo button built into the app. I know it's crazy. I don't know what they were thinking, but it is coming. Adobe Spark had their very first summit a few weeks ago, and it was like a webinar. I was able to listen in on it, and they are working on the undo button for iOS. So just give it time. It is coming. So anyways, this screen here gives you a variety of options to customize your text. So let's first start with shape. Okay, you can see here you have style, font, color, shape, align, opacity, and spacing. All right, so I first want to change the shape. And what I mean by shape, it is that shape you see behind your text. And by default, it is a square. So let's change the shape by clicking on shape. And again, you get another new scroll bar at the bottom of your screen. And there's several categories that this is broken down into. You have basic, you've got banners, you've got decorative shapes, let's see what other ones you have, and you also have social. So we're going to come back over here to the basic shape, and I don't want any shape behind my text at all. So I'm going to choose the very first one under that basic option. Okay. Now let's move over to fonts. Tap on font. As of now, you cannot add your own fonts, but the app does have a very nice selection to choose from. Again, there are several categories. We've got modern fonts, we have clean fonts, classic, loud, natural, expressive, and then also a couple of different languages. So, you know, even though you can't put in your own fonts, they do have a lot to choose from, and they just so happen to have one of my favorite go-tos is Beavis. It's under the loud section, so I'm going to tap on Beavis. Okay. Now let's tap Align. It's another option that you can use to manipulate your fonts. I'm going to tap on Align. And you can see you have your standard right, center, and left justification. And then you have your full justification that is here on your far right. And this one is magic. When you tap on it, like so, the text will adjust automatically, varying the font sizes on the lines. This is so cool. But wait a second, we want the text to fill the majority of the card, right? You can adjust the text box by selecting any of the green circles in those four corners. I am going to select the green dot on the lower right-hand corner, And look at what happens when you play around with the size of the text box. Look at how the text adjusts to that size. Look at how the lines adjust, even the size of the font. It is so much fun. So let's just keep playing around with it until I get it to a size that I want. I do like that. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Okay, and I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but when you get your text box that it's fairly close to the exact center of your template here, you'll see little crossbars show up. They're very pale yellow, and when you're centered, it's going to snap to those little lines. Okay. Now, something else that you can do to manipulate your text is adjust the spacing between the lines. To do so, let's come over here on the very far right and tap on spacing. And an icon shows up here in the center. If you keep tapping that line icon, look at what happens. It adjusts the spacing between the lines. It'll manipulate the size of the font. And you just keep tapping until you find something you like. I'm going to keep it just like that. All right, now that I have my text box the way I like it, I can go around and manipulate the color. And we can do this in two different ways. The first way is with your text box selected, just how I have mine here, you can tap on color and a scroll bar pops up. Okay, and again, you can just tap on any of these colors to choose something that you like. All right, so I'm going to, because this is kind of beachy themed, I'm going to select this blue color here. And you'll notice again that the icon with the sliders pop up. And here's where I want to talk a little bit more about manipulating the color. So if you tap on there again, we have our rainbow color bar. And if you slide your finger or your Apple Pencil or whatever you're using back and forth, you can see how that color swatch changes here. So if I wanted something like that to choose, and then the box below it, the large bar that is mainly blue, you can manipulate the shade, the tint of it, just by moving it back and forth and up and down. Okay, or again, you can put a hex code down here in the bottom box. All right, but I'm just going to go to cancel because I liked that blue I was working with. Okay. The second way to change the color is just to tap done once you have your text the way you like it. Okay, and then that's what I just did. All right. So from this screen, you can see that you have a palette icon down here at the bottom. So if you tap that icon, you are going to get a number of different color palettes to choose from. And now notice whatever color you had selected from that previous screen, from that previous color screen, it is going to create a custom color palette based on that color you selected. So you can see back here on the far left, that blue that I chose is in the center, and there's some other colors that the app has magically chosen to coordinate with it. And you also have two different icons. So up here, if you tap on that slider icon, you can go ahead and manipulate any of those colors that are in that palette just by selecting the icon or the color swatch, and you can see how the color bar moves accordingly. Okay, and you can just go ahead and manipulate those colors that way. All right, now this one, the second icon at the bottom, if you keep tapping that icon, it will automatically change the color background. It will change the font color for you within that color palette. Okay, so it is so much fun to use. I just think it's the bomb. So, you know, if we went with something, you know, something more beachy, let's see, this one's kind of fun. And if we just keep tapping it, we will get a variety of color combinations. Okay. I'm just going to come back here to the one that was selected automatically for me. And I'm going to tap it until I have that white background again with the blue fonts. There we go, just like that. Okay. So once you're happy with the results, you can tap Done in the bottom right-hand corner. And now you are able to save your card, or you can share it. Okay. Now, if you tap Share in the upper right, this is really nice. Look what happens. It gives you the option to save the background as a solid color, which is a JPEG, or a transparent, meaning that this text here that I have in blue, if I just wanted it in transparent background, I can select that PNG, and then I can place this maybe over like a textured paper that I have, maybe put it over just a photo, you know. So I really like that it has that option. But since I'm going to be just using this as a filler card, I'm just going to go with the solid background. And then I'm going to save the image to my camera roll. So now let's place it into a layout. I'm going to navigate to my Project Life app, open up my library, open that page I was working on, select the empty pocket. I want to choose that filler card I just created, and you can see how nicely it fits into my layout. Let's do another quick one for practice. Let's navigate back to our Spark Post. I'm going to tap Done in my lower right-hand corner of my screen. And then I want to come up here into the upper right-hand or upper left-hand corner and click on My Posts. And this also is considered your home screen. And you can see at the bottom, you can either select all of the different posts that you created or the templates. But just like we did with the other image we created, we're going to start from scratch. So tap that green circle at the bottom and select solid color. Now let's do something with a fun background, fun color. Let's start with this nice orange. I will tap next, and this time I want to create a 3x4 filler card, and to do so I will choose that 3:4 ratio, vertical, and then tap Done. Now it placed text there for me, and I want to change that, so I'll double tap. I'll delete the text that's there. I'm going to put in my own text. Life is better when you're laughing. And tap Done. I want to get rid of that box behind my text, so I'm going to come to Shape, scroll to the very left, and tap that first option. Now let's choose a font. Tap on Font, and I think I'm going to go with something a little bit different, somewhat different. Let's see what Harmon looks like. Yes, this is the one I wanted to use. This one is called Harmon, and let's tap on the Align and the Full Justification. I'm going to adjust the size of the text box just by pulling, and actually I really like that. I could go back and change the spacing of the lines. Let's see what happens when we got that. Keep going, keep going. I think I like this one. I'm just going to stick with this. I'll tap done. And this time I'm going to play around with the palette a little bit more. And I want to do something that's a little bit more cheery, I think. Let's see. This one is kind of fun, like that. And I'll tap that bottom arrow, those crossed arrows, and select a couple of different, just tap through until I find something that I like. Let's see what other options do we have here. Oh, this one. How about this one? This is nice and bright and cheery. Okay, I'm going to stick with this one. Okay, so if I do something like this, I'm good with that. And I'm going to share with the solid colored background, and I will save it to my camera roll. Okay. And guess what? I have a freebie for you. I have saved this 3x4 filler card in 4 different color combinations for you to download and use in your layouts. You could just follow the directions that is attached to this tutorial on the blog, and you'll be able to download it and have fun with it. Okay. Now, before I close this tutorial, I want to show you how to remove the Adobe Spark branding if it happens to appear on your project. Now, when I first started using Spark Post, there really wasn't a way to remove the branding, so I would remove it using the app Touch Retouch. Now, I am an Adobe Creative Cloud subscriber, so I don't see the Adobe branding anymore, but I do have a photo from 2016 that had the branding on it. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to remove it in Touch Retouch. Okay, so let's see. I need to rotate my screen some. Let's see if it will work. Awesome on the video. Perfect. I'm going to navigate over to where I have Touch Retouch. Oh. And I had already loaded the photo into the app, and you can see where that Adobe Spark branding is located down here. All right, and I want to remove that. So I'm going to come down here in the lower left corner to Object Removal, and I'm going to tap the settings and just manipulate the size of my brush a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'll come over here to Brush. And now what I'm going to do is just select that area that I want to remove, and then tap Go. And it's gone. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Then all I have to do is come up here to the upper right corner, and I'm going to export that to my camera roll. Save a copy. And it'll be in my camera roll, and I will be able to use that in my layout without the Adobe branding. So that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that Adobe Spark Post mini tutorial. If you have any questions for me, you can leave a comment and or drop me an email at kellymsill@gmail.com, and I would be happy to help you guys out. Thanks for watching.